letting your emotions dictate your actions is the greatest sign of weakness. Something I just talked about for a little while with a friend, and I have it written right on the front page of my planner, along with a number of other quotes, as you can see, a number of different things. And that is something that I've really just been thinking about a lot lately, like how much we do allow our emotions and our impulsivity to influence us, and the necessity for us to actually think and find a way to get to a more rational and a more stable state in which we are able to be calm and to think about things in a more moderate way, where we're not swayed to one side or another because of the extent of our emotions. And for me to see what so many people may go through because of the emotions that they experience, and for me to watch them make bad decisions because of how much they allow their emotions to influence them, just shows me how easy it can be to fall into that weakness, to fall into a spot where you give in to your emotions, maybe because you don't know how to not do that, or because it's the easier route, because it is what overcomes you. But in reality, for us to move forward and for us to do higher level things, in order for us to overcome so much, we need to know how to make better decisions. And in order to make those better decisions, we can't do that with our emotions. We can't do that with this high level of emotionality, and a lot of people do embrace this idea of being emotional, this idea of being a very emotional person, and how beneficial that can be. And when I think about that, it's kind of difficult, because I have to think and say, sure, you may miss some of those extreme positives, but how long are those extreme positives going to last, number one? How much do those actually relate to deeper contentment, something that is long lasting? And what are the immense benefits of preventing the extreme lows? When you're not experiencing those extreme lows, you can get to a point where you can navigate very challenging and very tasking situations, which are supposed to put you through extreme stress and extreme difficulty. When you limit those extremes, when you're going through those very challenging and difficult situations, you're able to find a way to compose yourself, because you're able to take control of your emotions and understand the magnitude of a situation in order to calm yourself down, in order to make those better rational decisions without being so emotional. And a lot of people may contest it and say, oh, I perform better when I experience high levels of anxiety. And sure, that may be the case. However, we do need to understand that when we take those steps and when we have those beliefs, we may not be considering that we're not in extreme anxiety. We may just be in this heightened state of anxiety, which is pushing us to yes, perform better, because our senses are heightened, we're able to operate cognitively at a higher level because of increased adrenaline, etc., versus understanding that you can have those physiological reactions but still compose yourself in order to focus more and to get in a flow state, which is really feeling like time's flying by and you're extremely focused and centered. When you go beyond that, and you give in to your emotions in those moments, that is when you're not going to perform as well, and that's when you're not going to make good decisions. So for me, when I look at all of this, we cannot cede to our emotions, especially in terms of making decisions and developing self-worth, how we view ourselves, how we view others. Becoming extremely emotional will only inhibit us from great progress, will only inhibit us from making extremely long-lasting change, which will have immense positive benefits for us. When we're so emotional, when we allow our emotions to overcome us and we give in to that weakness, we only inhibit ourselves from achieving what we could achieve. And for me, this is a huge challenge, because it's something that I've worked on for so long, something that I've really, I think, grown to be able to master in various capacities. However, I do still need to improve in various situations, but I do see myself improving. Being able to focus on it, have reflections, have a conversation like this, etc. Being able to really focus and dive in and set up systems for yourself to do so is extremely beneficial. And this is what I want to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about, because I see it affecting so many people, whether it's people really close to me, whether it's someone random on social media, whether it's someone who reaches out to me about what's going on in their situation. We need to understand that if we can be stronger than our emotions and how our emotions affect us, if we can overcome that and compose ourselves and feel more composed, contained, and level when we're experiencing those negative situations, it will only push us to be able to achieve what we want, to be able to feel the way we want, to be able to go forward long term in the way that we want. So I appreciate you tuning into this. It was kind of random, off the cuff for me, but has been something that's really been fresh in my head, and to really be thinking about these things and how important our reactions to our emotions are for us in our lives. It's critical. It's purely critical. So I appreciate you checking this out. And for me, it's always an honor and a pleasure to be able to share my thoughts with others, because for me, this means a ton. So thanks so much, and hopefully I can do this a little more. Cheers.